Aloha, welcome to TMDR, the Maui Daily Report for Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. I'm Chivo Cheng Johnson. These are some of the stories that may interest you today. The risk of wildfires is so high in Maui County that it has been deemed now to have a 100% chance of facing a large blaze in any given year, according to recent analysis. The county's new draft hazard mitigation plan, its first since the 2023 wildfires, lists fire as the Valley Isle's biggest threat. More than half of the county's population lives in a wildfire hazard area. Maui emergency management officials say that they're prepared to pivot to other sources of money to pay for their mitigation projects, but many hope that the state will also step up. Gerhard Koenig, the Maui doctor on trial for trying to kill his wife by pushing her off the Pali on Oahu, hitting her with a rock, and stabbing her with syringes trying to inject her with an undisclosed drug, was denied bail by Circuit Judge Paul Wong. Koenig's attorney said the wife was not seriously injured, and the decision was arbitrary. But the prosecutor said the doctor told his son he tried to kill her because she cheated on him. U.S. Representative Jill Tokuda wants you to give up the ghost guns. She has introduced legislation to stop the rise of untraceable weapons by tracking interstate shipments of gun kits and identifying individuals illegally acquiring firearm components. Oh, shoots. Big Brother and Little Brother are both watching you. Despite the failure of a speed camera bill in the legislature, Honolulu is ramping up the effort to install more cameras on the road. They're also about to authorize surveillance in Oahu's public parks, allegedly to deter crime and make up for vacancies in the police department. Not to mention a recent lawsuit against Apple, where its robot agent, Siri, was found spying on customers. Senator Mazie Hirono and 46 Democrats oppose GOP legislation they say would cut social programs to fund tax breaks for the wealthy. They warn that temporary assistance for needy families, Meals on Wheels, and Head Start are at risk. Nearly 25 million Americans, many of them children, rely on these services. Republicans deny it, but Democrats say the GOP budget could also lead to cuts in Medicaid and SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program formerly known as food stamps. There's another thing Republicans have denied. Hawaii Senator Brian Schott's resolution condemning Qatar's $400 million luxury plane given to Trump as a gift as the new Air Force One. In addition to the fact that the gift is blatantly illegal, Senator Schott says it compromises and taints the symbolism of Air Force One. Maui County taxpayers spent $240,000 for a homeless strategic plan, but that's not what they got. On Monday, officials told Maui County Council members that the county's all-hands-on-deck response to the devastating wildfires made creating that plan unfeasible, leading instead to a community-informed report. But now, as the critical housing shortage continues, the homeless encampments crop up in secluded areas, and Maui County Council members are, once again, questioning the legality of the change. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. The Hawaii legislature just made it easier to detain, hospitalize, and medicate people with mental illness against their will, even though those people are more likely to be victims and not perpetrators of violent crime. It reduces the panel of medical experts required to do this from 3 to 1 and does not guarantee a right to counsel in involuntary treatment proceedings. The County of Maui Department of Oahu Resources is awarding $450,000 in grants to 9 cultural and environmental projects. Projects include the Kipuka Kamalo restoration on Molokai and a watershed study by the nonprofit Kaehu. Kipahulu Ohana received funding to expand its living farm and cultural education efforts. Nearly 2 years after the wildfires in Lahaina, hundreds of homes are under construction. But one temporary neighborhood, Kalaiola, is filled with modular houses for more than 600 people. 100 days after breaking ground, the first families started moving in. But the project cost $185 million. Critics argue that costs were higher than necessary because the developer did not get enough bids and has not been transparent. Malama Kula has awarded over $21,000 in disaster relief to 7 Kula residents rebuilding after the 2023 fire. Each recipient received up to $3,000 to cover costs not covered by insurance or government aid. Funds supported projects like retaining walls, septic systems, and gas line trenching. Executive Director Kyle Ellison said the aid helps fill critical financial gaps and attempts to keep momentum in grassroots recovery efforts. A new University of Hawaii study reveals that we may be entering a weather cycle known as a Pacific Meridional Mode, or PMM. Now, unlike El Nino, PMM can cause heavy rains and floods or worsen droughts, depending on its phase. Researchers say that PMM significantly influences seasonal weather, especially in the spring. We all know that heavy storms, droughts, and wildfires are more likely to occur these days, and it is important to be prepared for the worst. Up next, we have a video talking about wildfires, followed by a PSA for the new MEMA app, Genasys Protect, which everyone should download for guidance during evacuations.
The wildfires are from human causes. We've definitely seen an increase in the amount of wildfires that are occurring every year. The Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization assists all the departments statewide with a lot of their statistics and tracking, and I believe it's upward of 95% of the wildfires are caused by human sources. Now, whether that's intentional or inadvertent, I've seen a lot from man-made things such as electrical lines, campfires, cars. Any of those things can contribute to wildfires and their ignitions.
So Hawaii in general is pretty different in that all our wildfires primarily are started by humans. When HCNS went out of business and all those cane fields and even Maui pine, all those pineapple fields went fallow, that was when we got these our worst years that I've seen. Now that Maui Pono has kind of taken over and now that a lot of their areas, especially in the Central Valley, they've been focusing on, are getting planted, we're transitioning back to only getting fires in those historical areas where they used to be.
Climate change is creating longer dry seasons, longer periods of drought, which essentially fuels wildfires. We're seeing more frequent wildfires and a lot more intense wildfires. Wildfires have a lot of fuel, essentially, with that dry vegetation. So when fires come through, it's also a very windy area. They can blow across the landscape very quickly and burn a lot of that vegetation. When we lose vegetation, all of the soil is exposed, and during a storm event or a heavy rain event, all of that sediment washes down straight into Ma'alaya Bay, causing a brownwater event. When we have sediment in the bay, it reduces sunlight, which is really important for photosynthesis for corals, and can really stress out the coral reefs that we have here in Ma'alaya Bay. So we work up in the mountain to establish fire breaks and plant vetiver grasses to kind of hold on to some of that soil in order to reduce potential sediment runoff.
One of the biggest things the community can do from the public standpoint is preparation. And there's just always being prepared. That comes down to emergency evacuation plans that you have in place at your own home, just in case these things happen, so that you're safer and better prepared to get out if one of these fires comes your way. There's also getting your home better prepared, things like having a clear space, getting fuels away from your house. They suggest up to 10 feet around your house, clearings, watching ignition sources that are in your yard, barbecues, cars that are running, any of these things that put off heat, especially during the summer months and when the conditions are right with wind and lower humidity. These all contribute to increased chances for wildfires.
Life in Maui County is beautiful, but we know how quickly nature can change. When emergencies happen, every second counts. To help keep you safe, the County of Maui is introducing the Genasys Protect evacuation app. With Genasys Protect, you'll receive instant alerts, detailed evacuation, and up-to-date safety information right at your fingertips. Stay prepared, stay safe, stay connected with Genasys Protect. Visit mauicounty.gov/Genasys for details on how to download the Genasys app.
And that's it for today's Maui Daily Report. Mahalo for joining us, and please keep watching Akaku channels 53, 54, and 55. You can watch Akaku at akaku.org or on your phone 24/7 with our app Maui Stream. If you're in transit, you can listen to TMDR on your radio on KAKU 88.5 FM. This is how we stay connected. I'm Chivo Ching Johnson. Have a good Wednesday night. Be happy, stay healthy, and keep smiling. Aloha.